Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Frostpunk. I figured this is as good a time as any to bring back one of my favourite games ever, especially given that Frostpunk 2 is just around the corner. From what I understand, it's Q1 this year, or at least the first half, but I don't think anything official is out. A trailer just dropped for Frostpunk 2 showing actual gameplay. It's what I've been speculating it would be, a little bit more of a sort of political, social simulator than a city builder, but it looks like it's still got parts. Be interesting because 11-bit doesn't really do sequels. They tend to do original IP in different genres. That's why I love them so much. Most recently, we covered The Invincible, which I think was quite good for a walking simulator. Indica is super hyper indie, but there's not a lot on that. But the Thaumaturge is coming out anytime soon in the next couple of months, and we'll probably cover that as well. Anyway, so Frostpunk, the original and the best. I figured let's chuck this against the wall and see if it sticks. We will start up a playthrough, and if you guys are interested in banging out more episodes, just let me know, and we will do just that. Okay, so scenario. You have the main story, which never gets old in my opinion, and it is the core of it, and then you've got these little side things, which are really good actually, like Last Autumn, On the Edge. Fall of Winterhome really squeezes you hard. Refugee squeezes you on, well, I should back up, because I'm assuming, there's some assumed knowledge in this, right? If you've never seen Frostpunk before, it's like a hardcore narrative colony builder. It's the first of its kind. There are certain games coming out copying it. In fact, New Cycle, which maybe we'll cover a playthrough on the channel, that's about to come out, and that seems to be one of the better ones. Ixion's probably the best that I can think of that have followed suit. A lot have missed. These leverage habits that you might fall into, or rather they squeeze pressure points in the game. The Arcs is about dealing with low manpower and more about automatons and using automation as best you can. The Refugees it sort of punishes people that just take in every survivor, you know what I mean? Because that's the default reaction. It's one of the limited resources. You can't make people. So the Refugees floods you with people and sees how you handle it. Fall of Winterhome takes all the systems and pushes it up to 11, essentially. It's a real pressure test. Last Autumn is a total pivot prequel where you build the generator before the game, before the Winter Holocaust, and or Apocalypse rather. And On the Edge is different again in its own sort of wrinkle. That's the one where you're like a satellite colony. You have to send shipments back and rely on like a parent nation essentially. They're all really good. They're all smaller. They're fantastic. But A New Home is the experience, right? Survivor mode. What is this crap? Survive against all odds. There's no active pause. The game will be very difficult and your progress will be saved on exit only. Oh my god, do I do that? I guess that's hard mode, isn't it? A New Home. Oh, right, okay, you can go through here. Customize scenario. Oh, look at this. You can change all of this stuff. I quite dislike mutators. Well, hang on, how is... Oh shit, well, I guess we'll just play. I meant to press back. How is Survivor mode different from those things? Like, is Survivor mode harder than hard? Or is... I guess Survivor mode's just no active pause, like it was saying. I don't know. Well, let's just play default, right?
The still, cold world. No horizon in sight.
This is one of the best intros ever.
The rulers of old, stripped of pride and glory. It feels as yesterday we were turning the wheels of progress. Until the frost stopped it all. Suddenly, without a warning. When tides had changed, they changed for all of us, no matter wealth or class. We've lost our world to snow. And with it, our last traces of humanity.
But we've got a banger soundtrack to see us through, so that's what really matters.
We bid farewell to plenty, and for those who remained came the time to adapt. We decided to leave our homes and head north. We roamed for weeks, maybe months, leaving behind all the things we once believed had made us. It was hope that pushed us forward. Slowly, step by step, we knew the cost of our journey, and we paid the price 100 times. Finally, the time has come to build the last city on Earth.
Yeah, so as much as I'm across a lot of the lore in this, I've always wondered, like, so we're not the initial party for this generator. This generator was essentially built probably for a higher class, just, you know, because there seems to be that component of who gets to go on the Ark. But these guys were like a second wave of presumably either people that didn't get picked or scoffed at the idea that the winter would destroy us all. And so they made this trek with that sort of steam engine, I don't know what else to call it, north. They get split up and you find yourself at this generator. And it's all very cool because, like, Winterhome we talked about. Winterhome is something that gets covered in this game. It's like the major city in the region. It's like what's going on, what happened there, that sort of thing. So like there's a lot of mystery, but you're kind of joining the story halfway through in a way, which is cool. It's great because not everything has to be a bloody origin story. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On the way, our convoy was hit with by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out there? I don't know if they ever really explicitly answer why this generator is not staffed. Whatever we do, we should expect the worst. Now that the world as we know it has crumbled, we have to survive. You know, to me, that's probably the biggest suspension of disbelief, that we have this pristine, untouched generator for some reason. Anyway, okay, cool. So let's... Oh my god, it's good coming back to this. I love this game. So good. Look at all the dudes just standing around, hanging out. How many dudes do we have? 80? 80? Okay, first thing you probably want to do is pull up Book of Laws. And then we got to make the decision. We need to make the call of whether we're going to go child labor. I think that's probably one of the earliest calls. Now, the thing that I'm not trying to necessarily min-max. And, you know, oh, he's a YouTuber, memes, he should do child labor. And we've done that on almost every playthrough on the channel. I think what we'll actually do is child shelters and pivot that into engineering apprentices, which gives you a tech rate boost. Because getting through the whole tech tree, I don't even know if that's possible. But that's not that important just yet. Sustain life, not so much. The soup thing, honestly, emergency shift, it might be worth getting out in front of this to get extended work hours. So I think that's what we'll do. Again, I haven't given this any real thought. I don't look up guides or anything like that, but I have played a shitload of this game because it's one of my favorite games. Sometimes I have to concentrate on the task at hand and the cost of everything else or die. Now, I don't necessarily want to use the emergency shift. I think if you use it more than once, people start dying from overwork. You know, not to try and deconstruct the game's systems, but I'm more worried about the tech behind it. Anyway, so that starts a long cooldown, 18 hours, before I'm allowed to pick a new law. So we sort of want to pick that on cooldown. Another thing is the homeless. Now, what we could do is set gathering stations to try and stave off frostbite, that sort of stuff. But I'm thinking of bloody just YOLO. Let's put people out in the cold. This is the temperature of the workplace, which you can see sort of here. It's not actually that bad. Chilly, low risk of falling ill. Yeah, I might just put people out there. We're going to need some coal, so I'll put dudes on a coal pile. And having a work crew is sensible. What's this? That button? Square bracket. 5. I'm going to keep 10 in reserve. Because they don't build during the day if everyone's at work, which, you know, makes sense. God, and we're going to have to come up with our own idiosyncratic build system as well. Okay, well, first things first, we need to get 80 people housed, which is 8 homes. Now, again, if you're not across this, you might have to squint on the video because it's not super clear. This concentric circle building has an adaptive component to the building width. In fact, here you can see the sort of organic width of the building. Oh, even there, that's a great example. Do you see that? See how the sort of size of the building flexes? It's inconsistent. But if you put it like this, you can see there's green. It's so hard to mouse over it without moving the mouse. You can see these green solid lines, and they represent a projection of if you built all buildings of this size around it. Ergo, it's generally pretty sensible to build this way, especially where the thing radiates. Another thing is building in suburbs as well. So when we do turn this on, it's only going to have steam level 1. I don't have any coal yet, which means it's only going to cover that first ring. It doesn't really behoove you to build a second ring immediately because it doesn't really do heat coverage. So you kind of build in suburbs. Anyway, long story short, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this in. Let's get everyone to work. We'll fire up the generator because we should be running profit now, and so that warms up. And you can see the heat map now covering that. And comfortable red means that they will not get ill. So that's what you really want, especially for your housing. So let's build a few more of these houses. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, one extra? One extra? Or do we build a medical post? Because we're going to need that in a sec. You know what? We will do that. How much is that? 20? I think it's 25 wood. I remember these things for some strange reason. I think it's 25 wood. I could be wrong. Yeah, it is too. We'll build that just because I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I can see it coming down the track. All right, now we're going to start building suburbs because we don't necessarily have the tech. And that's another thing. We need to start teching as soon as possible. So we'll want to do this ring. But the interesting thing is that we can sort of build these cheese slices out. You know, from there. What are you doing? What are you doing, you goose? No, you want road. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to do that. Now I'll coordinate off as well. And by putting that little nub, that gives us a bit of a build space. 15 wood for a workshop. Now, a lot of people don't know this. With your middle mouse click, you can rotate buildings. Particularly helpful with these engineering places. Actually, here's a great example because it's longer than it is wide. But you can see how it stretches to fit the cheese slice that I put there. Yeah, that's no good. Let's do that. Still, again, that's probably not the most efficient use of space, but that will do for now. Again, I know what I know, but I'm not necessarily going into this with a strict build system. We're also going to want to convert food. I mean, we might as well lean into Scarlet's bloody suburbia. Right, let's continue on this cheese slice. And I wonder what a cookhouse looks like in there. Look at that, it fills the whole thing. That's disgusting. I don't like that at all. Oh, you might be able to squeeze it in there. Problem with this is it's 3 deep. Look at that, it flexes in. Let's do that. Let's do that for now. Okay, cool, so we want to get research going straight away. We're going to put engineers in here. Now, the Steam Hub is sensible for what we're doing. For the sectioning. For the partitioning. So I think we'll do that. Let's staff this with engineers, because might as well. Though it looks like, I don't want to speak too soon, touch wood, we might actually skip illness here. And let's put people in the cookhouse. You know, I should have researched soup. I didn't realize I was going to build the cookhouse so quick. Oh, I guess it's closed. So you can see there the frosting over the top. They're outside of the heat ring. That is still comfortable temperature because of its internal insulation. You can see there it has a +2 building insulation level. These have a 1. And you can see the predictor of the storm is going to drop heat levels up and down. Okay, so we want soup. Food additives I don't think I've ever done. Soup hurts your morale, and I find morale infinitely more manageable. Sawdust makes people ill, which I really want to avoid. I would rather take discontent. I think I'd rather, well, I guess we'll see. I find it manageable. So we're going to go in here and put the soup recipe. It looks like it defaulted anyway, so we can get, it's not even 2 times. It's actually a pretty shit conversion. 2 to 5 and 2 to 4. So soup gets you another 1/5 food. It's not that great, but it's good in the early going. So what do we want to do now? We've got 15 engineers, which we could build more research facilities. So that's probably a bit of a priority. 5 steel, 15 wood. I'll tell you what, we'll put you on a steel pile because we're going to need a little bit. No one's, oh here you go, someone's sick, but the medical thing can hold 5 people at the moment. Okay. Workshop. Now how are we going to go? See, I could do this actually, section that way, and I can fit 2. Again, this is pretty experimental. Scarlet Suburbia. I'm just trying this out this time. Yeah, that'll work very well. Let's do that. And then when we get a bit more steel, we'll build the other one. People from our convoy, family torn apart. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure that they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. We'll do what we can. So, I like these little human stories. That's what makes Frostpunk. That's what a lot of people miss. You might have a very functionally solid city builder, Factorio-like game. Even that's getting a little bit elsewhere. That's going into logistics optimization. But you can have things that really appeal to the spurgs among us. We've all got a little bit of it if we're interested in these sort of games. But the reason, honestly, that Frostpunk had such mainstream appeal is because of, I really honestly think, the human element. There is a through narrative, but there's also the human story component as you go. Doesn't hurt that it's beautiful and has a brilliant soundtrack and so on and so forth, all of the above. Alright, we've got 5 steel. Workshop, there we go. I really, really want labour. What time is it? 1? Yeah, I can hold 10 people. Okay, steam hubs, good. Heater, helpful. Beacon, that's what old mate wants us to do, and we're very fast getting to the point where we need the beacon. Hunter's gear, not super primary. Sawmill is actually more important than you'd realize because we're going to run out of random wood very fast. I think so. I think sawmill. I think sawmill is where we go first. All right, let's staff that. More engineers. So, look at this. We've got a lot of rations, 3 days of rations, but we have no raw food. And funnily enough, managing that's a bit of a pain early. You can go here, you have some rudimentary statistics. You can see that at the moment we're gaining more coal, but again, remember, we're only getting coal from those piles. They're starter helpers. That will run out. Food is the tab you've got to pay attention to. So at the moment we've got 80 going out, but nothing in. So we've got 3 days worth. So building a... you know what, we might actually... See, now this is going to be an odd-shaped suburb compared to the rest, which I don't really mind. How would you circumvent that? I guess you could make another row of houses around here and then cheese wedge out of them, but I'm not that worried. What we might do is make this a cold suburb, because there are some buildings you don't really need heat for. And one of them is the hunter's hut. Ah, shit, we can't fit 2 there. God, that frustrates me. That's okay, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll do it here. We'll do it here. I think if they don't go out hunting, like if you've got max food, they will sit in the hunter's hut and then they need heating. But generally speaking, they don't actually go into the hut, so you can get away with not heating it. One of the piles must have finished up. Right, so we're gonna... So we still got one being treated. I do like this as well. A lot of people don't realise if you build buildings of likeness next to each other, they do things like little bridges and things. It's very cool. It's just aesthetic. I'm going to leave those 5 engineers in the sick bay. I think child shelters. We'll try and get engineer apprentices going. Children will be safer if they stay in child shelters during the day and they won't cause any mischief. True. Big true. Where will we put this child shelter? I get the feeling that... Oh, I need 5 steel. Okay. Well, let's work on that. Let's staff that. And then we will start hunting food. But you can already see we're running out of manpower really quick. I've got 10 people on the wood pile. 15 on steel is a bit wild, actually. Let's do that. And we've got a mission to stockpile more coal, which we're not really doing a good job at.
Get back to work.
What was I saving steel for? The child shelter. Wood crates depleted. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put you on that. We need to tick this mission over. Sawmill is good to have. Faster gathering, actually. Just... Beacon. Honestly, I should probably just get the beacon going, like, ASAP. Let's get it up. Sawmill... shit, what am I doing? People. Child shelter. How's that going to go in there? Oh, that's such an ugly fit, isn't it? You know what I could do, because I'm not using that engineering thing, and I'm going to lose resources on it. It's a bit of a back step, but it might be for the best. Let's just dismantle it. We'll put the child shelter there instead. Right, and then we're going to go engineer apprentices. Education's the key to our future. Let's teach our children engineering. Let's do that. Let's do exactly that. Food. Alright, so we must have ticked over the mission. The generator hums with reassuring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. If the generator goes down, the city dies. Be mindful of coal reserves. Now, food. There'll be no city if we starve to death. Secure a way to provide raw food and build a cookhouse to prepare meals. And I'm already bloody off to the races with that. Oh, look at that. I think we ticked the mission. With basic, and I think it would have been build a cookhouse, build the hunter's hut. With basic resources secured for now, we can try to rescue the people we left behind. Build a beacon, scout Frostland, and save as many survivors from our expedition as possible. You'll need a workshop to design plans for more advanced buildings. Did that as well. Okay, so beacons next. So we're on the right track. We're a little bit out in front, which is nice. Beacon researched. I think faster gathering. Let's just knock that over. Now, where to put the beacon? Somewhere out of the bloody way, honestly. Ooh, okay. That'll do. Geez, that used a shitload of wood. 20 wood, 35 steel. Gracious. Goodness gracious me. 2 days of coal. Let's get that steel fast. As soon as you allocate them, they start generating it.
Finish your labors, people. The work day is
I'm building my little road out there. Child shelter. There. And we'll get like morale for that. Now, we're about to have a huge temperature drop. So we really want a steam hub, 20 steel. Bugger. Hope rises. All the little people are in there. People getting sick. Great. It's okay as long as we can keep it in 5. And you can see palliative care is a component. So if you drag your feet when it comes to healing people up, they will go to gravely, which is essentially they can't. Oh no, shit. Oh wait, no, very cold. That's not good, but it's still workable. It's not ideal. 20 steel. I need my 20 steel. Like, can they still work it? Yeah, they can still work it. I have to really not fly close to the sun here. So you have a look at the temperature now. Look at this, that's not great. Cookhouse is really cold, and I haven't researched heaters. So this is what I was getting at with the suburb concept. It's doing something like this. So this, and another thing people might not realize, this heat is just an extension of this heat. It is not compounding, so you can't double it up. Like if you put it like there, you don't get twice the heat level. All it does is extend the range. Okay, let's think about this. What's next? Because everyone's going to start freezing. I probably should build gathering posts for this. 15 wood, 5 steel. Let's run it to 5 and then we'll stand on the brakes. Yep. What's this out here? Steel. Let's go wood. How much was it again? 15? Okay. Okay. Fuck. You can see that they're freezing there. I need that built right now. Gathering post. This seems like a bit of a no-brainer, doesn't it? I do need to run a road out there, which is going to cost me more wood. But if I... let's let them work. Okay, faster gathering, research. See, research costs wood as well, and I don't really want to stop the music. I need that gathering post though. 15. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. So I think all hands stop. We're lucky that we haven't got more people sick. Let's get this built. There you go, look at this. Got our hot patch now. What's this? A note of thanks, child shelter. We just wanted to thank you. Back in London, it was only the wealthy that didn't have to send their kids to work. In this new world you're creating, we can see things will be different. It is the right thing to do. Come on, let's not get ahead of ourselves, alright? Don't live in some bloody Alexandria fantasy land, alright? So we're going to get this built, and that's got insulation, which is the best we can do. What we need is heaters. Let's staff that. They'll start scooping stuff up. About 10 hours of coal. Shit. So I might need to get on a coal pile. Cold as it is. At least we've got this steel and wood coming in. Yeah, good. And I really don't want to stop the research, but... yeah. Okay, cool. Anyway, Frostpunk. Do I know what I'm doing? Not really. I mean, I know the systems, but does that mean I know how to navigate them properly? Probably not. But I'm having a lot of fun. It's so good coming back to this. It holds up so good. You gotta love these games that are just eternal, right? 10 years from now, this will still be brilliant. And 10 again. And it's just magic. That's what you want from a great game. Anyway, so look, this might be a one and done depending on interest, who knows, but people might be curious given the hype around Frostpunk 2. So if you do want to see some more, let me know, right? Drop a comment, that sort of thing, and if this is well received, we'll put out some more episodes and get a bit of a playthrough through. Anyway, team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.